just now. Never has there been, in the whole history of slavery, a better time than right now for you to educate your children at home. Hi, I'm Christine, and welcome back to the third and final part of the series Home Education and Slavery. So a quick recap, we had a look at a private slave, which is the kind of slave that we generally think about when we think about slavery. And then we looked at being a slave of the state, and we asked ourselves, are we slaves? A slave works hard for minimal rewards. And something that I didn't mention before, but I think is crucial, is that there's no escape. So part of being a slave is that you can't get out of slavery. You can't just walk away. And so in terms of us being slaves to the state, the question then is, can we escape? Can we get away from this slavery? And the answer to that is yes and no. So when I say no, what I mean is the only option would be to properly escape, to move to another country. And the question then is, where would you go, and what would be the logistics involved in that? It's not an easy thing to uproot and move somewhere else, even if it's just a country nearby. And if you have family, there's a huge amount to consider in terms of uprooting your whole family and moving everyone somewhere else. So in that sense, yes, you can escape, but it's very, very, very difficult. But on the other hand, there are steps we can take to extract ourselves from the state as much as possible. Now, obviously, primarily, I'm going to talk about education. I'll come back to that in a second. But the state has taken control of, as well as education, all benefits, all welfare, including pensions, although pensions are not considered to be benefits because it's more like an insurance policy. You buy into the pension throughout your working life and you get back what you've put in, supposedly. And obviously healthcare is completely owned by the state unless you can afford to go private, which in the UK, which is the health system I know, is very expensive and difficult. Well, it's not difficult, but it's very expensive to go private. And actually, you might find that you're in the same hospital with the same doctors and other healthcare professionals that you would have if you were going through the NHS. The only difference is you might get there a bit quicker, which obviously is useful if you've got an emergency. But on the other hand, in terms of trauma, largely the NHS does well in terms of treating if there's been a car accident or whatever. Anyway, if you're able to get yourself away from these things where the state has complete control, you're certainly on the way to freedom from slavery. But I do appreciate that that's not easy, because everything is set up towards that, towards the state having control of these things. And in terms of education, obviously what I'm going to say is take your children out of school, get them away from the state. But in terms of complete freedom, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take years. And as I've said in other videos, it's a generational thing. In terms of where we are right now, we're limited in how free we can be we're not going to get rid of the curbs on our free speech, for example, overnight. That's not going to happen. But if that's something that you care about, it's something that you can educate your own children about. The state won't touch on these things in terms of state education, but it's something that you can do at home with your children. So this takes us back to the same point I've been harping on about over and over and over again, that home education, educating your children yourself at home, is going to massively improve their prospects for the future and improve the nation itself. So, as you know, there will be sacrifice on your behalf. I was going to say there are no negatives, but actually there will be negatives, because somebody has to be at home to educate them, and that means a reduction in family income, which in this day and age, that's not an easy decision to make. But the long-term benefits are so great that it's definitely something that I think you should consider. So, thanks for watching, and please come back next week. Please like and subscribe, and we're going to talk about something completely different next week. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.